How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? This is and welcome and thank you for joining me on my podcast where we strive to educate, entertain, and add some value to your day. I am your host, Nug the narrator. I think after a couple of different angles and where I want everything and how I want it. I think I finally got it perfect where I could move, I could still be seen, I could still be heard. Literally, I'm in this shot and I got exactly what I want in the background where I want it. So, this right here will primarily be the new look of That's My Take podcast. And again, welcome. Thank you. Let's get into the show right at it. World news. Haiti extends state of emergency as intruders break into key portal terminals. Intruders broke into a major portal in Haiti Thursday as violence in the country escalated after the government extended its state of emergency. The Haitian government decreed the state of emergency would extend to April 3rd in the country's west region in the capital Port-au-Prince. A curfew has been extended to March 10th. It comes as Port-au-Prince's Caribbean Port Services (CPS) terminal, a major player in Haiti's food import supply chain, was broken into around 8 a.m., two security sources told CNN. The intruders headed to the terminal's gate warehouse where the houses many containers, the sources said. Video of the port on Thursday showed hundreds of people on the streets around the facility and what appeared to be dozens of people breaking into the gated warehouse. CPS did not respond to CNN's request for comment. The source said the unrest at the port continues. Port-au-Prince has been crippled by a wave of highly coordinated gang attacks on law enforcement and state institutions in what one gang leader, Jimmy Cervantes, has described as an attempt to overthrow Prime Minister Ariel Henry's government. Armed groups have burned down police stations and released thousands of inmates from two prisons. The Chavarse has warned of a civil war that will end in genocide if the prime minister does not step down, reported on Tuesday. The chaos has forced thousands, tens of thousands to flee their homes in the past few days, adding to more than 300,000 already displaced by gang violence. Obviously, upheaval in Haiti is something we don't want to hear, but it's a fact that lots been kind of like bubbling and now it's to the surface over there in Haiti, and it's wild. It's one of those situations where you really, really, really don't want to be a part of it because you got corrupt government, you got police that's corrupt, and you got big gang violence that's coming together as people taking basically authority and law into their own hand because they see lawlessness and corruption around them. And it's just heartbreaking. But man, pray for Haiti. That's all I can say. Like pretty much pray for Haiti because it's really going down over there. Like for real, for real. Moving on. 70 million year old giant dinosaur skeleton found connected from skull to tail. A chance discovery made in southern France has revealed a rare specimen, an almost complete dinosaur skeleton found connected from its hind skull to its tail. The massive fossil came to light in May of 2022, now after 25-year-old amateur paleontologist Damien Biscotto and his dog stumbled across something unusual while walking in a forest in Meurthe, France. Biscotto had noticed a cliff edge that had recently collapsed and decided to take a closer look when he spotted an exposed bone sticking out of the ground. Local media outlets France Bleu first reported on February 13th. The Archaeological and Pathological Cultural Association of the Cousy Museum, in collaboration with the French National Center for Scientific Research, identified the nearly 10-meter-long fossil as a Titanosaur skeleton upon excavation. Biscotto, who has been a member of the association for 8 years, told CNN that while unearthing dinosaur remains is always exciting and interesting for scientific research, and the understanding of the ecosystems of that time, finding the bones in their almost original anatomical position is what make this extraordinary. And that is in itself to find damn near a complete dinosaur fossil of how many years old? 70 million year giant dinosaur skeleton found connected from skull to tail. That's fascinating into itself. Dinosaurs definitely ran and walked and was amongst this earth many years ago. They say 70, who knows how many it could have really been years ago when dinosaurs walked this earth. But yes, they did walk this earth. We have put together plenty of dinosaurs. They have found plenty of dinosaurs intact as well, fossilized. But at the same time, this discovery here is awesome. Big find for science. And like, hey, I'm not like the biggest dinosaur person. I might can name maybe 3: Tyrannosaurus Rex. Um, uh, did I say Tyrannosaurus Rex already? But nah, I mean, I ain't the biggest dinosaur person, but at the same time, it's interesting to know that something that big, dangerous, and ferocious once walked the damn earth. That's my take on that. Like, that's huge. Then he a paleontologist that stumbled across it with his dog. That's even better. Moving on. At least 15 people were killed in the fire thought to have been started as an electric bike parked at a high-rise residential building in eastern China Friday morning, state media have reported. 44 people were also injured during the blaze that engulfed the 34th floor building in the eastern city of Nanghai. The media outlet CCTV said 2 were in critical and serious condition while the rest suffered minor injuries. The state broadcaster reported, adding that they were hospitalized. A preliminary investigation found an electric bike parked on the open floor of a building may have caught fire, according to state broadcasters. Investigations are continuing. Footage on China's social media showed a ball of fire spreading to the exterior of the buildings. Billows of smoke emerged from apartments of various floors, leaving burnt marks on the facade of the building. He said officials were deeply saddened by the event, adding an investigation is underway. We will give the victims and society an answer, he said. The blaze was a trending topic on Chinese social media platform Weibo on Saturday, being viewed by more than 470 million times by the afternoon. Wow. Now, obviously, we don't want to hear about anybody passing away. And as always, we send out condolences for those that passed away. But if you didn't follow the story or you kind of like left off a part of it, it was supposedly started by an electronic bicycle hanging off the side of a building that may have caught a fire and caught the structure ablaze. My opinion is electrical fires will definitely be on the rise. But I do also have to say this real quick. I was in traffic and I finally saw the Tesla truck in person. I didn't even know they dropped yet. Like, I got a new goal in life. Like, this truck mesmerized me. Like, I know it's electric and I know it looked crazy in terms of the prototype, but I seen a Texas plate Tesla truck today in traffic, and wow, I thought I saw the future. I had to say that. I really did. Like, real talk. That Tesla truck is nice. But no, yes, the Chinese fire that happened was supposedly from an electric bike that was hanging from the side of a building that could possibly have started the blaze. Again, our condolences for those that lost their life and a speedy recovery for those that was injured in such a blaze. But yes, electrical fires will be on the rise with more things becoming more electrical. Definitely. U.S. News. Daily explosion at a Detroit area vape shop sends canisters and switchblades caught in the fire throughout the air. Authorities believe the Michigan Vape Supplies distributor that went up in flames Monday night in Clinton Township was illegally storing canisters of butane and other materials, township officials said Tuesday. A 19-year-old man was killed by flying debris and a firefighter was injured. Explosions took place, officials said. Clinton Township Supervisor Robert Cannon said the business was not permitted to have the canisters of butane, which was highly flammable. and I quote, they were illegally in that building, Counter told reporters at a news conference Tuesday evening in a news release on the township's website. Officials said, according to the fire department stored at the news conference Tuesday, a news conference released on the township website said, according to the fire department, stored in the facility, among other things, was containers of butane, nitrous oxide, lighter fluid, and vape pens. Containers or canisters were 12 to 18 inches in size, weighing 10 to 15 pounds. The shop, identified as Goo LLC, was permitted to operate. Hang that up, baby. Sorry about that. The containers were 12 to 18 inches in size, weighing 10 to 15 pounds. The shop, identified as Goo LLC, was permitted to operate as a retail merchandising business with some storage in the former supermarket location. Property records and authorities confirmed. But in the past week, the retailer, which authorities estimate have been storing more than 10,000 vape pens, had received a truckload of butane and still had over half of that left. In addition to nitrous oxide, propane, and other products, Duncan said at an earlier news conference. Obviously, with those highly flammable gases and chemicals around, something can blow. And obviously, something in Detroit at this vape shop definitely went up in smoke, to say the least. I don't really know how else to really say much about it, but Goo LLC, y'all kind of, might allegedly not want to have that much flammable stuff in the same area, because it only take one spark and boom, the whole damn Detroit area vape shop is in flames and switchblade causing the fire. That's crazy, man. But somebody lost their life in that shit. Our condolences and moving on. State troopers to be deployed in Miami Beach and other Florida spring break destinations. The move comes after two deadly shootings in Miami Beach during spring break last year led to a state of emergency in a midnight curfew in the popular destination for vacation and college students. More than 40 troopers will be deployed in Miami Beach, according to the city's mayor. We at the state level stand ready to help our local communities maintain order, DeSantos said Tuesday. We don't welcome mayhem, DeSantos said. The state has a lot going on. It's a fun place to be. We want to see people do that, but we also are going to insist that people respect the law. DeSantos said the troopers will assist 17 law enforcement agencies, and the rapid response team of 24 troopers will be on standby in Bay, Valdosta, Baldwin, and Miami-Dade counties. Troopers will assist with crowd control, DUI checkpoints, license plate readers, and directing traffic, the governor told reporters on Tuesday. Now, like they said, those deadly shootings date back to a year or so ago during spring break in Florida on Miami Beach, where some people lost their life during spring break. Spring break is supposed to be a time of fun. It's supposed to be a time of mischief at the same time, but mischief versus killing somebody is totally different. I definitely enjoy myself on plenty of Florida spring breaks, so I definitely get it. But at the same time, law enforcement will be enforcing the law. And if you're outright looking drunk, looking crazy, wilding out on the street, public intoxication, stuff like that, they will get you. If you're behind the wheel with it, definitely they will get you. Be careful, enjoy yourself. Spring break is for fun, but at the same time, you cannot be, like he said, with that mayhem. Can't do that. Can't mess these folks' way of life up down there in Florida. Like, you just can't do that. Moving on. The Feds. The Fed says economy improving as businesses content with price conscious customers. The U.S. economy continues to grow, weathering increasingly reluctance among customers to pay higher prices, and businesses remaining generally positive about future demand amid expectations of lower interest rates. That is the picture painted by the Federal Reserve's latest beige book, an informal summary of economic conditions around the country, released on Wednesday. Consumer spending, particularly on retail goods, inched down in recent weeks, the survey of Federal Reserve regional districts found. Several reports cited heightening price sensitivity by consumers and noted that households continue to trade down and to shift spending away from discretionary goods. And I quote, businesses generally found it easier to fill open positions and to find qualified applicants, although difficulties persisted attracting workers for highly skilled positions, including healthcare professionals, engineers, and skilled trade specialists such as welders and mechanics, it added. Earlier Wednesday, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell told members of the House Financial Service Committee that the economy was doing well. The labor market was coming into better balance, but the policymakers were looking for a little more confidence and confirmation that inflation will remain on a downward trajectory. While he said it was not yet time to begin cutting interest rates, he did say that the peak in interest rates had likely been reached for the current economic cycle. Now, with interest rates particularly trending downward for the next 2 and 3 possible years, I do advise those who have been on the fence. And again, I'm only advising due to this economic story that I pulled, but buyers, people that are trying to own the American dream, I want to look at you right now and let you know that, yes, I am a real estate agent. No, this is not a podcast about real estate, but what I'm about to tell you is based upon simple economic principles. With the interest rates starting to drop, you can look for these sixes to turn into fives and possibly high fours in terms of what they're going to charge you on your money. This is a good time to buy at that time. For those that have been waiting and those that feel like, well, okay, I feel like this is a better time. Yes, it will be. 24, 25, 26 is your buying time. By 27, 28, 29, we shall be right back where we are right now, if we are even still here. It's going to be a 3 up and a 3 down. You can mark that down on your calendars. That's my Frenchy coach. He's loud. Sorry, I do apologize. He make cameos every now and then. Moving on to hip hop and entertainment news. Mike Epps admits he's abused cocaine during Ice Cube's pleas to stop. Mike Epps revealed he was high on cocaine during the O2 filming of his movie All About the Benjamins with Ice Cube. The comedian discussed his drug use on an episode of Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson's All the Smoke podcast. And I quote, "I've been on drugs. I've been through hell," Epps told Barnes and Jackson. I quote, "I did most of the movies on coke. All About the Benjamins. I used to sit in Ice Cube trailer in the morning and be crying tears." He was like, "Mike, wipe your face, man. You a king, nigga. Stop doing this shit to yourself." I'm sitting here wiping myself because I was really, I had survivor's remorse. And I end quote. Epps noted he used drugs to appeal to his old friends. He recalled how they ejected him when he was doing well, but showed him love when he was struggling with cocaine abuse. "I was so sad that I left all them niggas here in the city and I was famous," Epps said. "And when I would come home, I wanted them to be happy for me and they was mad at me. So I said, damn, I got to destroy myself for you to like me." I was like, damn, my favorite nigga. It seemed like he liked me more when I was coming down off coke, and I'm crying and I hate myself. Ice Cube and Epps started All About the Benjamins after working together on Next Friday, the sequel in the beloved comedy Friday. Epps portrayed Craig's cousin Day Day in Next Day Friday. Day Day became one of the lead roles in the Friday franchise once Chris Tucker opted to not reprise his role as Smokey. Mike Epps, bro, we love you, bro. No matter what you did, you are presently a king, just as Ice Cube said Do your thing, my nigga. Much love, and I hope it's all goes the way you want it, bro. Like real talk. We all got ups, we all got downs, bro. Moving on. The Supreme Court of Georgia's decision to overturn Morgan Baker's murder conviction could help Young Thug and the rapper's ongoing RICO trial. Defense attorney Brian Steele filed a supplemental motion referencing the court's March 5th ruling in hopes of a removal of rap lyrics and music videos as evidence in Young Thug's trial on Wednesday, March 6th. Baker v. State has a wonderful analysis of O.CGA section 24-4-43 evidence pertaining to a video of rap music. Steele wrote in Baker v. State. Super lyrics were not an issue because the words in the rap video were mostly indiscernible, regardless of our high court in a 7-2 option reversed murder convictions from Houston County, Georgia, based upon the fact that the trial court abused its discretion, not in hindsight, but at the time of the trial, on the admission of evidence being introducing the evidence as intrusive evidence, as same did not complete the story as well as under other act evidence because his evidence added little, if any, probative value to the case, even when Georgia's highest court overturned Baker's conviction due to the improper use of a no-cap music video in his trial. Young Thug's legal team believed the ruling bolstered their arguments for striking lyrics in music videos as evidence in his RICO trial. In a quote, without the persecution knowing who wrote the lyrics at issue, when the lyrics was written, when the lyrics were produced, who potentially changed any lyrics, what was the intention of their lyrics, what was the mindset of the person speaking the lyrics, who authorized and promoted and orchestrated the music videos, whether they were real guns or not, whether the music video were done for promotional purposes or the like. Young Thug again asked his honorable court to exclude any and all of the state's request evidence person to the constitutional provisions previously argued, as evidence is merely an attack on character. Steele wrote, Young Thug is one of 6 defendants on trial in the YSL RICO case. The trial begun last November in 2023. And I simply must say, a rap lyric is entertainment. Entertainment should not be used against anybody in the court of law. That's like saying, since John Wayne played a cowboy, he's a killer. No. It's all entertainment, bro. We all go home at the end of the day, get in the bed, lay down and watch Sports Center. Stop playing. Moving on. Steve Stout called out by Run DMC fans for claiming he started hip-hop sneaker deals. Steve Stout has made some big claims in a recent interview, and one of them has fans of Run DMC ready to throw their Adidas. In his sit down on a new episode of Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast, Stout, an executive who has made a career of bringing hip-hop and the corporate world together, talked about his influence in the context of shoe deals for rappers. But his claims that he started that trend had many commentators rushing to point out a pair of examples. Run DMC deal with Adidas, which resulted in a legendary group having their own line of shoes in '88. Sharp started his question by mentioning a number of rappers who had shoe endorsements over the past 2 decades, mainly Jay-Z and G-Unit with Reebok, Travis Scott with Eminem, Jack Harlow with New Balance. Now you see the culture and the influence that it had with brands. You see a lot more of that, Sharp said. I started that. Stout responded. I started that. Everybody knows that. That's me. That's called corporate America. I'm going to include you. I'm going to introduce you to this thing called hip-hop, and the music and culture and everything that represents can help you. That's what I did, and everywhere I go around the world, anyone who knows me knows that I did that. I feel great about that, end quote. A repost another clip by Hip Hop Wolf was met by a number of comments mentioning the famous Run DMC Adidas deal. He definitely has selective amnesia. Run DMC started it, then LL got his sneaker deal with Troop, wrote one commenter. I really wish people stop trying to erase hip-hop's history. It is well documented that Run DMC signed hip-hop's first sneaker contract in '87 when they partnered with Adidas in a deal worth $1.6 million, said another. I guess he did the Adidas deal with Run DMC in the 80s. Wrote a commenter, ironically. Moving on to sports. Russell Wilson. Steelers to meet with Russell Wilson. The quarterback also spoke to the Giants. Quarterback Russell Wilson is visiting Friday with the Pittsburgh Steelers and spoke with the New York Giants on Thursday as a free agent to be. Seeks his next NFL team. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. League sources described Wilson's session with the Giants as an exploratory meeting. Wilson is expected to meet with other teams, including possibly the Raiders, sources said. Wilson is meeting with teams ahead of his release by the Denver Broncos at the start of the league year on Wednesday. Sources told Sheffer this week that the Broncos had granted Wilson permission to immediately begin speaking and meeting with other teams in their home cities. The Steelers' only 2022 first-round pick Kenny Pickett of the contract at quarterback. Mason Rudolph is entering free agency after starting 3 games for Pittsburgh last season. Steelers general manager Omar Khan expressed full faith in Pickett this month at the NFL Combine, and I quote, "We are excited about Kenny, excited about the impact that new OC Arthur Smith is going to have on the offense and on Kenny," Khan said. Still, both Khan and coach Mike Tomlin said they plan to bring in competition for Pickett, though Khan didn't tip his hand about how the team planned to do that. Khan also said the team remained interested in bringing back Rudolph. Typically conservative in their free agency approach, the Steelers have a recent history of adding free agent quarterbacks to their roster. Before drafting Pickett, Steelers signed former Chicago Bears first-round Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year, $14 million deal on the first day of free agency in 21. Trubisky, though, was unseated as a starter by Pickett 4 games into the season, and despite signing an extension last offseason, Trubisky was released by the team earlier that year in typical NFL fashion. I think Pittsburgh would be a good landing spot for Russell. I think Russell is definitely on his last 3 seasons as an NFL quarterback. That's the 24th season, the 25th season, retiring in the 26th season. You can write that and book that right now. It was a good run. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a horrible quarterback at the present moment, but he's definitely a shell of himself in terms of his 18 and 17-year seasons. With that being said, Steelers, Falcons, Raiders, and some of those might be in a backup role. Just my take on Russell Wilson. Present day, Russell Wilson. Moving on. Some Chiefs fans needed amputations after frigid game. Some of the people who attended the near record cold Chiefs playoff game in January had to undergo amputations after suffering frostbite, a Missouri hospital said Friday. Research Medical Center didn't provide exact numbers, but said in a statement that it treated dozens of people who had experienced frostbite during that 11-day cold snap in January. 12 of those people, including some were at the January 13 game, had to undergo amputation involving mostly fingers and toes. The hospital said more surgeries are expected over the next 2 to 4 weeks as injuries involved. The University of Kansas hospital said it also treated frostbite victims after the game, but didn't report any amputations. The temperatures for the Dolphins Chief wildcard game was minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and wind gusts made the wind chill minus 27. That shattered the mark for the coldest game in Arrowhead Stadium history. which had been 1 degree, set in 83, game against Denver, and matched in 16 against a game against Tennessee. The wild card game was played the same day the Buffalo Bills were supposed to host the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that game was pushed back a day because a blizzard dumped up to 2 feet of snow in New York and made traveling to the stadium dangerous. The game in Kansas City went on as scheduled because the frigid weather didn't present similar problems getting to Arrowhead Stadium, even though the National Weather Service warned of dangerously cold wind chills. Frostbite can occur on exposed skin within 30 minutes, Dr. Megan Garcia, the medical center of the Grossman Burns Center and Research, said in a statement that answered one of the top questions she asked. The timing can be even shorter if there's a wind chill, she said. Fans were allowed to bring heated blankets into the stadium and small pieces of cardboard to place under their feet on the cold concrete. The coldest game in NFL history remains minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit for the 67 NFL championship when the Packers beat the Cowboys at Lambeau Field in the game that came to be known as the Ice Bowl. The wind chill that day, a cold minus 48 fucking degrees. The Chiefs didn't immediately respond to email messages from the Associated Press seeking comment. Now, first of all, I'm a fan, but at the same time, I'm not a fanatic. How the fuck with an F you in that cold of temperatures to watch a football game? I'm sorry. I love my football game, but I would have been in a cozy, warm suite with temperatures that low. Sorry. I'm not trying to brave the elements and prove my manhood all by watching a first down. No. I want to be warm, cozy, cocoa even. Marshmallows maybe. Watching the game comfortable, not thinking, damn, I might have to get a toe amputated due to frostbite. That's cold, bro. Pun intended. Moving on. Caitlin Clark surpasses Stephen Curry to break the NCAA record for three-pointers in the season. Caitlin Clark is still rewriting the NCAA's record books, even on her off nights. She's now the all-time leader for three-point field goals made in a single NCAA season, a record she previously tied in company with Golden State Warriors legend and former Davidson star Stephen Curry and former Liberty guard Darius McGee at 162. Clark entered Ohio's Big Ten Conference quarterfinal matchup against number 7 seed Penn State, just 1 3-pointer shy of the mark on Friday. And it didn't come until the fourth quarter. It ended the 95-62 win with 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists, though she was uncharacteristically 5 of 19 shooting and 2 of 14 from three-point range. Her first touch of the game resulted in a missed 3 midway through the first quarter, which was soon followed by 3 free throws for her first 4 points. Clark was quick to pass the ball when it came to her from then on, and keeping with her propensity to polarize her teammates and Ohio's success when it counts. But to the credit of the Nittany Lions defense and maybe Clark's awareness at the moment, she also missed 11 three-point attempts and turned the ball over twice before she could break the record. She didn't score a single field goal until she gave Iowa its first points of the second quarter, scoring a deep two-pointer with less than 4 minutes remaining in the period. She hit the record-breaking shot in front of an excited crowd with 8 minutes left in the fourth. The expression of relief flashed across her face before she raised her hands and encouraged the cheers. Caitlin Clark is a one-of-a-kind. Congratulations. You are a college legend forever. I say that with much conviction. Female, male, the lady can shoot. The lady can score. She's box office. Definitely the number 1 WNBA player pick. I think Indiana has the pick. Would have definitely loved to see her in a bigger market. But at the same time, she is box office. She is a market. So with that, I look forward to it. I really do. Okay, I see y'all in the comments. Hey, Candy. David, thank y'all. Look, thank y'all for coming by. It's my first show back in a while. I'm just not noticing the comments. I appreciate it. Thank y'all. I really do. I thank y'all. Um, One of my favorite segments. I can't make this shit up. Um, it's a wild one. This is a wild one. I sat next to a stranger on the plane. We were stunned that we were the same in every way, including our shared name. A UK airplane passenger likely thought he'd flown to a parallel dimension after sitting next to his in-flight doppelganger, who shared his name, looks, and even a friend. I quote, "It's crazy. What are the odds on that?" Mark Garland, 58, told Southwest News Service while describing the mind-bending encounter, which occurred on March 2nd on a flight from London to Bangkok, Thailand. The bus driver, who hails from Wiltshire, had reportedly been checking into his flight when the gate attendants told him that he already checked in. It was only later that the staff realized that there were two Mark Garlands on the same flight. The other, a 62-year-old builder from Bristol, who was a dead ringer for his younger counterpart with similar features and a matching bald head. The younger Mark explained that the check-in employee apparently didn't cross-reference the booking number and checked in his look-alike instead, which initially caused him some agony. I stood at the checkpoint for 40 minutes while they tried to work out the problem, lamented the transit employee. We then had to go to the boarding gate early to identify our cases. That's when the doppelganger met in person, an experience that evoked looking into a mirror. I was shocked how strange it was, said the younger Mark on seeing his in-flight stunt double. People said we could be brothers, he added. I said, "Look, I'm Mark Garland," showing him my passport, and he started laughing and opened his passport and showed me his name, and it was banter. They then proceeded to jokingly blame the other for causing them so many problems. The elder Mark was similarly gobsmacked by the encounter, explaining, "It was crazy. I have never known anything like it. I go to the desk and there's a block who looks just like me, but he's a bit bigger than me," the construction worker said, before cheekily whimpering, "I'm better looking." He continued to embrace the moment. "He's like me. I've got a character and I love winding people up. We're the same." The younger and elder Mark had coincidentally decided to travel to Thailand on vacation for 4 and 3 weeks, respectively. The serendipity didn't stop there. When the pair boarded the plane, they discovered that they were sitting right next to each other. I can't make this shit up. That is a true story. That was a true story. And in closing, this day in history, where I leave you with a little bit of history that happened this day, which will be March the 8th. So in 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte forces captured the city of Jaffa from the Ottoman Empire in Palestine after a 5-day siege. In 1930, on this day, baseball slugger Babe Ruth signs 2-year contract for the then huge $160,000 with the New York Yankees. General Ed Barrow wrongfully predicts no one will ever be paid more than Ruth. And in closing, in 1964, on this day, March 8th, Malcolm X resigned from the Nation of Islam. That is a wrap on our show. But before we go, I do have some closing notes that I wanted to take a little time out to express before we got off air and before I see y'all next time. First of all, subscribe, share, like, comment, talk good, talk bad, just talk about it. That's My Take podcast. Let somebody else that you know about the podcast and help get these numbers up, because I can't lie to y'all. I love the growth that I'm seeing. Like, I've doubled growth from when I started, meaning the first 100 took a while, and now this second 100 is going quick to get, and that's a good pace. That's a natural pace. But at the same time, I'm trying to get to a monetizing space in place, meaning I need more numbers. I'm not too proud to beg. I'm not technically begging, but at the same time, I'm just asking. If it's somebody next to you or somebody at work or somebody that you know that may not know about the show, hip them to it. If it's their cup of tea, they can subscribe. I would love it. If it's not, that's cool too. But yes, I implore y'all, thank y'all for the ones that are subscribed, that's helping with this voyage. I thank you. What else I want to talk about? Oh, yes. Health is wealth. Not necessarily just physical health, but mental health as well, spiritual health as well. Take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health, take care of your spiritual health. We are all humans. We all make mistakes, but we all have the ability to make right, and that's all I'm trying to do. And with that being said, and in closing, good night. Usually I end with some music. I don't have any music queued up because I don't have my phone right by me, but that's cool. I'm happy to be back twice a week. That's my Take podcast. I love y'all. I see y'all here real soon, and we out.